Welcome to Keep Me Posted with Planet Aid. And today we have a really good show. We're going to be talking to Sujata Gautam, who actually works with the Dane County Department of Waste and Renewables. She is going to be talking to us today about a wonderful exhibit. It's a mobile exhibit called the Trash Lab. And Sujata, can you tell us a little bit about the Trash Lab mobile exhibit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite projects I've worked on thus far. So always happy to talk about it. So the Trash Lab, it is, like you said, a mobile exhibit housed in about a 27-foot long trailer. And inside we have about 10 exhibits and models and games and videos and interactives that all seek to share with the community, what happens to your stuff after you throw something away? Where does it go? What do we do with it and why? And what is the future that we hope to create when it comes to managing our stuff? And so we partnered with the Madison Children's Museum to build this exhibit, and it was a wonderful partnership, and they really helped us take something like waste management and how landfills work, which can be quite complex and technical, and really break it down into a fun, engaging way to demystify the waste disposal process.
Wow. Well, you talk about that partnership. So how did you come about wanting to do the exhibit?
So it's we do a lot of things, and we're really proud of our work, but we felt like we wanted another way to share with the community what it is that we do. We had been offering tours at our site, but felt like, how can we meet people where they're at? Because we recognize not everyone can come to a landfill and kind of see all the work that's going on, and really get a good understanding of, what happens to my stuff after I throw something away. So accessibility and making solid waste and recycling education more accessible for people of all different backgrounds was a really big driver for this project, which is why we wanted it in a mobile unit, right? So we can take it to schools, to different community events all around Dane County. So we had this project vision in mind of, creating some sort of mobile unit filled with exhibits. And Dane County had an internal sort of sustainability grant fund that they provide to different members within the department to employ different activities or projects that will help enhance the county's sustainability. And we were awarded the funding from the county to do this project, which we were so grateful for. And so once we had that funding secured and the support from our leaders to move forward with the project, it was kind of on me to figure out, okay, like, how are we actually doing this now, to bring it from like dream into reality. And so I just started talking to all the different people in our community to get ideas, to understand who out there in our community are experts in like building exhibits and taking kind of complex information and breaking it down into a more digestible format for people of all ages to understand. And the Madison Children's Museum ended up being really ideal partners for that, because that is what they are skilled at. They're experts in this kind of work, and they were really fabulous partners to work with. And
okay, so let me ask you a question about the outcome. What is the actual outcome that you want to see happen with the Trash Lab? And I know, and I'm sure that you've seen some of it already, but what do you want the community to take back? And let me also add this extra part to it, because
sure.
it's centered really around Dane County, but obviously when you do something like this, it has global implications. So talk a little bit about the local aspect, and also about how it goes out to like national and even global as far as the outcomes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think as far as local impacts, we really just wanted people to be more aware of what happens to their stuff and where it goes. And part of the story that we talk about in the Trash Lab is, currently at our landfill, we have only about 10 years of site life or landfill life left before we run out of space.
Wow.
And Yeah. So, so 10 years is not too far out. And we want the community to be aware of, there's only 10 years of site life left, and we need to find a site to build a new landfill. But we really want this new site to be more than just a landfill, but we actually envision building a sustainability campus. So in addition to having a landfill, we want a campus where we provide even more reuse and recycling opportunities for different materials. So the idea is to divert as many materials as we can from our landfill so that this new landfill can last as long as possible when we're taking things like organics right out and trying to make compost with it, when we're taking things like mattresses out. And so it's really this vision sharing with the community too is a really important part of the trash lab, because we want the community to be informed of, this is how our waste is being managed, this is how we're doing it. We're really proud to be protecting the health of our community and environment by engineering landfills and monitoring them. But we recognize that, we can move even further along in being more sustainable stewards of our materials if we create opportunities to integrate materials back into our systems rather than putting them in a landfill. And so really sharing our vision with the community and providing opportunities too, as we do our outreach and engagement, to hear community members' thoughts about their relationship with stuff and what they would like to see here in the community was really important for us. And I would say in terms of impact, I think hearing the stories of how the trash lab impacted people has been one of the most rewarding parts for me. How people go home and all of a sudden they're just looking at their stuff differently. They're thinking about, so on the outside of the trash lab, we have little prompts that ask things like, what have you thrown away today? Or and so even when you just gently guide people to thinking about putting their attention towards something that's often so out of sight and out of mind, that can have a big ripple effect. And so having people come back and telling me that, or having the parents of preschoolers come to me and tell me, oh, my preschooler was talking to me all about the trash lab today. I don't know what it is, but now I know what it is, and it sounds fascinating. So hearing that people are sharing the story of the trash lab and thinking about trash and where it goes has been so rewarding. So I think in terms of local impact, that's been awesome. But to the other part of your question, in terms of global impact and national, I think this is a big theme, right? Is how can we pay more attention to our relationship with stuff and how we are managing stuff, because that can look different on all sorts of different parts of the world. And the Trash Lab kind of talks about that too. The first part of the exhibit is kind of all about, why is it important to manage materials in a responsible way? And it talks about the negative social, economic, and environmental impacts of mismanaged waste.
Right.
And so it's, it's really important that we do give it thought, right? And so I think the Trash Lab, through its fun kind of whimsical nature, I'll send you some pictures, but it's quite bright and colorful and eye-catching. And all along the ceiling, we've actually pulled stuff out of our waste stream that people had thrown away and glued it to the top of the ceiling. So even as people walk in, they're seeing stuff on the ceiling and seeing it in a beautifully artistically laid out way, and being asked, our community is throwing things like this away. Why? Why is this the outcome of for these objects? And many of those objects that we put on the ceiling could have been donated by somebody else. We've had kids come in and tell me wow, why would someone throw that away? Or why does that toy still have its tag on it?
Oh my goodness.
So
wow.
I know we see all sorts of things at the landfill. So I think having that, being able to show the community the things we see when, at the landfill, is just really nice for people to pause and think about, why is it this way? Why do we have to make it this way? So globally, I think that's a question we can all ask ourselves, right? When we take resources from the earth and create things, that's great, but how can we return it to the earth in just as a beautiful way, right? Like in a regenerative way, rather than just in a landfill.